What's going on YouTube? It's not very often that you get to review a car that is only one of 50. But indeed today we have one of the rarest Lexus models, the 2020 Lexus RCF Track Edition. Of course, we do want to especially thank our friends at Lexus of Lexington for giving us access to this amazing vehicle. And if you're in the market for any new Lexus, be sure to stop by their dealership or visit them via their website, which we provided a link to in the video description. So with that all said, let's check out the most track-focused RC ever built. So starting out with the exterior styling, as you can tell right off the bat, it is extreme. The RCF already has really bold looks, and for the Track Edition, things get further amplified with the addition of lots of carbon fiber. Actually, if there's an overarching theme of this car, it is weight loss, which is what dictated the use of the full carbon fiber hood and roof. When you pair it with this white, it really stands out a lot. But there is also a matte nebula gray paint available for a stealthier look. As far as the headlights, they are also very dramatic when you choose this optional triple beam LED setup. The overall look is kind of insect-like, which I think goes well with the rest of the design. Now heading to the rear, Lexus did not hold back, giving the Track Edition a massive wing made of entirely carbon fiber. They say that it is both lighter and more functional than the active spoiler on the standard RCF, by making 58 pounds more downforce and 2% less drag. Of course, the signature things are still here, like the F-stacked exhaust, and for this Track Edition, they even have a faint blue finish. The muffler is also made of titanium, which itself saves 15 pounds, and the rear splitter is made of, you guessed it, carbon fiber. But overall, this car has absolutely insane looks, and that definitely matches with its rarity. Now we've been talking a lot about weight reduction, and the single largest place it came from was the brake rotors. Switching from traditional steel rotors to Brembo carbon ceramic ones yielded 48.5 pounds of reduction from the total 117 pounds all by itself. Of course, in addition to all the other performance benefits. As far as the wheels, they are ultra-light 19-inch BBS forged alloys, wrapped in specially designed staggered Michelin Pilot Sport 4S tires. Now ending on some of the boring aspects, we have the typical RC mirrors, except they are lacking blind spot monitoring. But as far as all the other safety systems, they are all on board, including automatic forward emergency braking with pedestrian detection, lane keeping assist, adaptive cruise control, and automatic high beam headlights. But anyways, that's it for this car's insane exterior. So now let's see what Lexus has done in the cabin. Now of course, as you would expect, every RCF Track Edition does come standard with the smart entry system. However, I want to show you guys this really neat key that Lexus has included on this car. It's kind of hard to tell, but actually right here in my wallet, this is the key to the RCF. As you can tell, it's exactly the same size as basically my credit cards. It fits right into those slots right there. It's completely flat, so it's just designed, like I said, to stick inside your wallet or your purse. Gives you the ability to basically ignore it and gives you access to the car still. Now to get inside the vehicle itself, all you gotta do is just grab the handle and it will open right up. Alright, so checking out the cabin of the 2020 Lexus RCF Track Edition. As you can tell, it is a really cool interior. So starting with the seats, of course, they are track seats. As you can see, you have really large bolsters. Almost all of the center part here is finished in a really nice Alcantara to hold you in place. But you do have leather trimming the outside, as well as your F embroidered right there in the headrest. As far as the rest of the cabin, you will notice all the carpet is also the same red, which really stands out a lot, as well as some red accents here. And you even have special red carbon fiber trim. Now turning over here to your door trim, it is finished the same way. You have red Alcantara over this whole part here, red leather, and then this special red carbon fiber trim, which looks really awesome. As far as the seats themselves, even though they are the fancy Track Edition seats, you still do have 10-way power adjustment, just like on the regular RCF. And then, like I've already said, these seats look amazing. Now the majority of this interior is shared with the refreshed RCF, which receives itself the same updates as the 2019 refreshed RC. That does mean you have upgraded materials. So across the upper part, like I've already pointed out, you have a nice leather material that's finished in that same beautiful red, and then the rest of the dashboard is made from a nice soft touch plastic. Moving down to the middle, you have more of that real red carbon fiber trim. And then you've got this really cool leather detail here, which is partially black and red, and comes all the way up to the top here. Now, of course, you do have push button start. And you'll notice on this particular model, since we got the navigation package, we have the upgraded 10.3 inch display here versus the standard 7-inch display. Now let's go ahead and fire this bad boy up. Alright, so let's talk about the gauges here. Now these are unique from the regular RCF Sport. So as you can see, you've got your digital tachometer, your multifunction display, as well as an analog speedometer over there. And these do pretty much the same things. You can just scroll through different types of information, just like this. But the one thing specific to this car, the really cool tab, is the F tab here. So as you can see, you've actually got a dedicated lap timer, so you can do several laps. You can record those things. You've got a history. And you got a G-force meter right there, so you can watch that happen live as you go around the track in this car. But you also have your performance gauges up there at the top, because of course, you know, this is the Track Edition, so everything about this car is designed with the track in mind. Now, one a little bit interesting thing though is here on the RCF, this actually doesn't slide like it does in the F Sport. Now coming back to the steering wheel, you do have electric power assisted steering, and you've got a nice leather wrapped wheel. Of course, like everything in this car, you have this really cool red accent with your F badge. Looks really nice and feels really nice in the hand. Obviously you've got your standard fare of audio, phone, and voice controls. This is for your multifunction display and your safety systems. And you will find rain sensing wipers as well as adaptive cruise control. Now as far as the wheel itself, it is manual tilt and telescoping, and there is no heating because we're not going to waste any type of weight on stuff like that. Now of course this is where we talk about storage. It doesn't really matter too much in this car, but we'll talk about it anyways. You do have a really nice Alcantara, red Alcantara finished armrest here, definitely helps keep you in place. But as far as the actual storage here, it is the same as in the other RCs. So you have actually a surprisingly large amount of it, and a nice felt lining. Plus you got your USB aux jack and 12-volt outlet inside. You still got 2 cup holders, and you have a little storage bin right there, which you can kind of prop your phone up like that, so that's pretty nice. Now in typical F fashion, you have a really nice leather wrapped steering wheel. Feels good in the hand. You can bump over here to the left to shift manually, and we do have real aluminum paddle shifters that feel really nice in the hand. Of course, in reverse, as you'd expect from any Lexus, you do have a backup camera with active trajectory. Also, next to the shifter here, we do have our drive mode select. Believe it or not, you have even an eco mode. You've got a normal and a custom mode, a sport and a sport plus mode available. So you have all the modes, plus a mode you'll probably utilize quite a lot if you own this car. You've got a launch button here, so this activates your launch control and gives you that ideal launch every time. Now moving on up here to the audio system, Lexus has actually eliminated a couple speakers for the engine enhancement in this car. It goes full natural. However, they still do leave the audio system intact. We actually have the only optional package on this car, which is the navigation package with the Mark Levinson audio system. So we have the 17 speaker Mark Levinson sound system. We'll go ahead and take a sample of that. Sounds very nice, as all Mark Levinson sound systems do. Now another place that Lexus actually saved a little bit of weight was with the air conditioning. The AC compressor is a little bit smaller on this model. However, rest assured it does blow plenty cold. It's definitely very hot today. So as far as the actual climate controls here, they are the same as in all RCs. They are dual zone automatic, and you've got these little electrostatic controllers here, very easy to use. And then physical controls for all the rest. So I definitely like this layout. Now up top here, you've got an analog clock. And then like I was saying, we have the larger 10.3 inch display that comes in the optional navigation package. This runs the latest version of the Lexus Enform system. So as you can see, you can just press the menu button, brings you up, pulls up your menu over top of whatever screen you're on currently. You can hit these different shortcut buttons to go into different things, including Apple CarPlay, which is now included on this car, as well as all RCFs. And you can even adjust your climate control up here if you want to. With this larger display versus the standard 7-inch display, you also have the split screen ability. Now I won't spend any further time on this system since it is, like I said, the same as in other Lexus products. However, we do have that dedicated Lexus Enform Tech Help video available if you want to learn more about the system. A link to that is provided in the video description. Anyways, moving on up here, we do have an auto dimming mirror with your HomeLink universal remote built in. And of course, as you would expect on a car that's so focused on track and weight loss, there's not going to be any type of moonroof or anything to weigh this car down. But overall, I have to say the cabin of the RCF Track Edition is simply stunning. Of course, you know, Lexus has done some things to save weight in here, but it's still really, really comfortable. This is definitely a special interior for a special car. Now I'll give to Mason, who will show you the, believe it or not, rear seats, so you can bring 4 people in this amazing car.
Alright, so checking out the rear seat of the RC Track Edition, obviously this isn't the most important part, but if you do want to get back here, all you have to do is look at this little handle. It's right behind the seat back, and it will fold forward and start sliding out of the way automatically. Now, as far as rear legroom itself is concerned, this is no different from the regular RC. So you're going to find 27 inches of rear legroom and 35 inches of rear headroom, which is definitely usable on a special occasion. So now let's go ahead and get back there and see what it's like for an adult. So when I set the seat back into place, it will go ahead and slide all the way back. And as you can see, with the seat scooted, adjusted pretty much all the way back, legroom is definitely going to be limited back here. However, like I did say, it is very nice that the RC Track Edition does still have the rear seats, because especially a lot of exotic cars will eliminate that. So if you do need it on a special occasion, you have that in this vehicle. Now, of course, as far as the more important features, you do have these beautiful leather seats with this special Alcantara in the middle, and it's just a gorgeous design, and you even have F embossing here in the rear as well. Now up top you have a coat hook, does pop down, as well as some LED lighting. The headliner is of course a beautiful, beautiful design, super soft, extremely luxurious, and coming down, Lexus has not even cheapened out in the materials back here, so you do have a red Alcantara, as well as a leather padded armrest. So overall, I will mention that this car actually has a really nice rear seat. It really doesn't skimp out on any of the features from the regular RC, so this is really like a luxury sports coupe, even though it is crazy performance oriented in this track model. Now, in order to get out, all you do is grab this same handle, fold it forward, and it will slide right out of the way. Now coming around to the trunk, obviously all you have to do is push the button under the lid to open. And once inside, you are going to find 10.4 cubic feet of space, which once again is not a reduction from the regular RC model. So this is definitely more space than what you would find in a typical supercar. And it is finished really nicely back here, so you do have a carpeted floorboard, and your cargo hinges are covered. We will talk about the pricing of this particular model in just a minute. And coming over to the passenger seat, of course it is that same lovely design. It's a beautiful, beautiful seat. And it is also 8-way power adjusting on this model. Now in front of the passenger, you do have awesome materials. You do have a padded dashboard. It's padded even all the way up here. And you have some more of that beautiful red carbon fiber trim. And the glove box does open in typical fashion with a good amount of space. On top, you have a sun visor with the LED light and mirror. And it does also detach and extend. Well guys, that sums up all of the rear areas of this RC Track Edition. So now let's go ahead and get to the most important part, the powertrain.
Alright, now let's get into the heart of this beast, the engine and the powertrain. So to start out with, the RCF is one of the few vehicles left to come with a naturally aspirated V8 engine. So this is a 5-liter naturally aspirated V8, and we're producing 5 more horsepower than last year and 6 more pound-feet of torque. So that's going to bring the total to 472 horsepower and 395 pound-feet of torque. So in addition to having a bit more power, Lexus has also changed the throttle mapping as well, and they've also changed the gearing just a little bit to the 8-speed automatic transmission. Now, interestingly, this Track Edition actually does not come with the rear differential like the standard RCF does. And that Lexus has said it gives you a little bit more control over the car. You know, being the Track Edition and all, it's aiming to give you that ultimate level of control on the track. So that's what they're aiming for with that. Now, altogether, this is going to give you a 4.2 second 0 to 60 when it comes to the standard RCF. Now, this Track Edition, having lost weight and with all the performance upgrades, drops that down to just a hair under 4 seconds. Lexus is saying 3.96 seconds 0 to 60, so it's definitely some serious performance.
For sure.
And then, of course, in a car like this, it really doesn't matter. But I will go ahead and mention the fuel economy. It is rated at 16 city, 24 highway, 19 combined, which honestly is not terrible for the amount of performance you get, and the fact that this is a naturally aspirated engine versus a turbo in the competition.
And you do not get a gas guzzler tax.
That's right.
Either, so that is also a bonus.
But, you know, all in all, this car really delivers a lot of performance, and it does things in that unique Lexus way. I really appreciate that Lexus, they're making a unique product here. This is kind of kicking it old school, and it definitely doesn't look or perform or sound anything like the competition, and that is a really cool thing. Now, unfortunately, I'll deliver the bad news. We're not going to be driving this car. This is a limited edition. There's only 50 of these in the United States. So, at
the dealer's request, they don't want miles on it, which is very understandable for the next owner.
Might be a collector's vehicle.
So, hopefully, we'll have the chance to maybe do a regular RCF coming up, and in that video, we might be able to give you a test drive. But as of now, we're not going to be able to. But I can tell you it sounds really good, and I'm sure it would drive really nicely as well. Alrighty, and now that we're finished talking about the powertrain, let's go ahead and talk about the pricing of this vehicle. Now, obviously, it doesn't come cheap, especially with all this luxury and performance. So if you want the 2020 RCF, the regular version, not this Track Edition, that's going to start at $64,750. Now, if you want to go for this full-scale, awesome Track Edition, that's going to come in around $30,000 more expensive, with a starting price of $96,650. Now, there actually are a few different options that you can get on this Track Edition model, and we do have all of them checked off. So we have the all-weather package for $130, premium triple beam LED headlights for $1160, the Mark Levinson upgraded audio system for $2,725, parking sensors for $500, cargo mats for $260, as well as all-weather floor liners for $169. And then finally, when you add in the $1,025 destination charge, this particular model as equipped comes in at $102,619, which obviously is a lot of money, but when you take into account how rare this vehicle is, there's only 50 coming to the United States.
300 total in the whole
world.
And
300, yeah, exactly, and it is just really a stunner on the outside. So this is really a lot of car for 102, and it could be, you know, cross-shopped with like a regular LC or something like that, if you have the chance to buy one. So this is a very unique vehicle, and it's priced accordingly. Well, guys, we've enjoyed watching this in-depth look at the 2020 Lexus RCF Track Edition. Please hit those like and subscribe buttons if you haven't already, and we'll catch you next time as we sample more of the latest automotive delicacies.
Mm-hmm.